Hello everybody, this is Badger Wild, and we are back with another Space Engineers Let's Build video. And not so much of a let's build, but more of a let's show what we already built. This build actually went a lot faster than I anticipated. I ended up going over it and doing a 40-minute video on the ship, designing it, and even putting it through testing. So it's primarily done, other than me doing some skin detail work and making it look good. Problem with this though, I checked out a new rendering to the game. I actually now have it at the, let me show you here. I have actually managed to, the other day, fix my display settings so that I can give you the full 4K experience in Space Engineers. Now, this created a problem that I didn't know. Got done recording on Sunday, and I made the decision. I was like, I'm gonna, do the editing on Monday. And Sunday I was starting to get sick, and Monday I really got sick. So yeah, Monday I ended up doing nothing because I was just out of my gourd. I couldn't even think. Oh, man, I couldn't even think properly. So I decided, I'll just hang back and I'll get it Tuesday night. Tuesday, I'm feeling better. I go to my daughter's soccer game, take my time, got in here at about 10:30 and looked over the video because it takes time to find it with all the recordings that I've got. I need to clean that up. And the recording that I did, because I went to a 4K, ended up stretching the screen out, and now I have all this nice 4K, but it only recorded this emblem section over here is all that was recorded. So well over 3/4, probably 5/6 of the screen was not being recorded for 40 minutes of me just blazing through this build like it was nothing. And for that, I am very sorry. And I don't know if I could break this down and do it, but I do not have time, as right now it is 11:31 at night on a Tuesday. I do not have time to get this thing out and schedule it. And then in the morning, I'm going to have to head immediately off to work after I take my kid to school. So it's not possible. This is one of the things about doing YouTube, is you don't have a lot of time. YouTube starts as a hobby, and a lot of times it's more of like, I think most people go through, they start it as a hobby and then eventually it becomes a job for some people. For me, this is not a job. I don't get paid for it. Would I like to get paid? Yes. Do I have to get paid? No. I do enjoy doing this. I do enjoy working YouTube and making videos and seeing y'all's comments and stuff. That's very rewarding in its own right. But this right here, and like this is not something that I kind of get pissed about. I'm mad. I am mad. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I am mad. But I'm mad about the fact that I effed this up, and it bothers me. So yeah, anyway, I don't know what to do with this other than I'm going to take you through the thought process of what happened after I built it. Because like I said, this thing in 40 minutes, I had it done, all the internals built in 40 seconds, and these new 4K. Oh God, 4K looks good. Let me tell you, I'm glad I figured out how to do this. So my textures aren't screwing with me anymore like they were in the last couple of bits. I had it on such a slow render rate. But I'll take you through in this video. Sorry, I'm still recovering from some kind of cold. I don't even know what it is. My wife got a stomach virus, and a family member of mine has COVID, and I got a dang cold. I don't know how I got a dang cold, but I got a dang cold. So I'm going to take you guys through the thought process of everything that I did to build this and to get it to where it is, so you guys can emulate this and come up with it. So without further ado, let's get started. So the point of this ship was I threw the idea to the community. I think about 1 or 2 people responded, which is all right. I mean, I can use that consensus for a ship. And it was, do y'all want me to build like a fighter or a miner? And everyone said, do a miner. And one person I think also mentioned, they said, do a bore miner. Specifically, something that can go into an asteroid and just burrow its way through without having to worry about bumping into things. So you don't have to come back and hit another section and go in. So nothing should catch on this. You can see the hole in the asteroid behind me. We'll get around and we'll make another one in that same asteroid, and we'll just burrow right through it. It burrows pretty quick. But we started with the industrial cockpit here, and I'm just gonna hop in this. So we've got a marker. Started with the industrial cockpit, and went from there to using two L-shaped, yeah, right here, you can see it. And we use two L-shaped, I'm having a frame rate issue with 4K. I may be taking it off, I don't know. But you see the two L shapes right there, or two elbows, and those connect into one of the converters. We have two of our gyros here because go to info and I select center of mass. Excuse me. You can see that we are basically 3 blocks away with the rotors, or with the gyros, from the center of mass of the ship. So the ship is just 1 to 3 blocks away from that. We've got 2 of them, so it gives it a good turn rate. We got 1 small nuclear warfare nuclear reactor powering it. And what I wanted to do is make sure that the drills would cover more space than anything else on the ship, so we don't have to worry about, you know, drill space and stuff like that. This enables it to go through. Now, the big problem I had with the drills was I was worried that we would end up with like a spike going through there and kind of going into this area and causing problems, but that didn't happen. Turns out the drills actually have a pretty good range, and they were just ripping and tearing through everything like it was nothing. It did get a little close to this front cockpit here, but not so close that it would end up hitting, and it didn't give us any real problems. We were still like on the drills as it's going in. So I decided 6 drills would be awesome enough. I am considering putting this on here, and one person saw the community post and actually said you should, I asked them what a name for it was, and one person goes, call it the Graboid from Tremors. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what we're gonna call this, the Graboid. So continuing on with a little tour of this ship, we have 2 warfare batteries, and or at least the large ones. We have 2 warfare batteries with the lights on either side, and then we also have the what is this called? It is the hydrogen generator, hydrogen oxygen generator. And a lot of people don't know this, but this thing actually has its own internalized tank. So when your character hops into this, they're going to automatically be refilled. You just had to put like a little ice somewhere, usually inside this, and it'll provide all the hydrogen and oxygen to your ship that you need. So we have that. Then we have another conveyor converter under here that I don't think you're going to be able to see because of where all this is. Let me see. Do I have the... Okay, number 1. Oh, dang it. I accidentally deleted the wrong thing. Yeah, I did that. I actually deleted... Well, you can see how I do this anyway. So, what I have here is one conveyor converter hooked up to these 3 ejectors here, which will eject everything out, and they're hooked up to a sorter playing middleman. And what that does is the sorter plays middleman and whitelists everything. I'll show you guys in a minute how to do this since I effed all this up. So when I mine into something, it's going to pick up all the rare materials that we need, and all the stone's going to get chucked out, which is wonderful. Connected to all that, from here back, are about 5 medium cargo containers. And some of y'all might be looking at this saying, well, Badger, why didn't you use a large cargo container on small ship? And there's a reason. The medium cargo container here holds 3,375 liters of cargo storage. And because it holds that much, you just need 5 of them, and you basically get about the same amount, if not more, than a large cargo container with less space. You actually can subtract 2 meters off of your build's area with these. So you can subtract a meter off top and a meter off the bottom, thinning the profile down a bit more. That was a reason for doing that. I wanted to thin this down. And this over here is just a very simple RCS thruster I would use on early builds, and it works. It's just a multi-directional conveyor, or a conveyor connector block, and you just add a couple of RC thrusters, tiny little itty bitty ones on the sides, and that enables it to give you some pretty good thrust. You got good up, down, up, forward, and backward thrust, as well as downward thrust. Your side to side thrust kind of suffers a little bit, and I plan on fixing that later. But I think also I'm going to add maybe a thruster in the front here, and then a couple of lights along with the extra skeleton that's going to be on this, because this needs a skeleton attached to it. But connecting back from here, we have a hydrogen tank, large hydrogen tank in the back, giving us plenty of hydrogen for our RCS thrusters. And we have a set of large grid ion thrusters, just for if you're searching an asteroid and you got to get far away, or you want to just take your miner a little bit further and go to an asteroid while your buddy and your main ship maneuvers, or you want to have this near a base and you want to use this to get into something and then get back out, you can basically just power up these ion thrusters and just run on pure ion for a little bit. So they're a great ion thrusters, in my opinion, are a great thruster for propelling your ship forward when you don't have the ability to, when you don't want to use like hydrogen. So that saves you a little bit of gas. Hybrid build, very nice. So how does this ejector work? I know a lot of y'all are wondering that right now, so I'm going to show you how I do this ejector of mine. So hit the tab button here real quick, and we're going to turn this into a small lesson on how to run an ejector system, which is just kind of dumb. So number 3, I think it is where the target block is I need to use. There we go. That's this here, and then find, oh, there it is. Number 2 on the hotbar. And this is our ejector. Now, what we've done with the sorters is the sorters are now whitelisted. So if I were to go here right now, onto this, and show you what the small conveyor sorter is doing, this is what you have to do to make it work. You have to A, pick what you want it to go in, and then B, whitelist it. Blacklisting it prevents anything from being thrown out. Whitelisting enables you to move only one thing. Basically, the whitelist tells you who gets to go in the club, and the blacklist is all the troublemakers you don't want in it. You want to whitelist stone when you make these ejector systems, because the small conveyor sorter will not move stone on a blacklist. You'll have to go in and you'll have to go through this entire block and just set up everything you want put in there. Whereas with this sorter here, you can just determine what you want to go where. So if you wanted to fill certain cargo containers in your base with certain materials, you could just add a small conveyor there and say you want to put all of your magnesium in one, or put all of your iron in one, or put one for just nothing but ingots, and then do another one for just basic materials, and then advanced materials, and then another one for this. You just simply go through here and decide what down here you want to put in. You add it by simply grabbing it, and then let me get down here quick, and then you press like add, and that adds like gravity components, and gravity components will come popping out. But I don't have to do that. You can just simply remove it. In this case, we also have the ejectors here. And the ejectors, let me see if I can find it. There, this one. You want to set them all to throw out on, and that makes them work. And so while you're here, each of these will fill instantaneously, and then they'll just start ejecting stuff as they fill. So yeah, not a bad little miner. It's got a full lot of equipment to make it work. And I'm sorry for doing this, y'all. You know, like setting it up to where y'all have to get this format. You can't like watch me actually build it. I made a mistake. I'm very sorry. But to make it up for you, I'm gonna show you guys how this thing works so far. And I'm gonna skin it. It's already gonna be called the Gorgon, or not the Gorgon. It's gonna be called the Graboid. Gorgon. Wow, I'm thinking Gorgon. Dear Lord, you can see here it swings pretty good with just two gyros. That's it. This thing only has two. Now, like I said, I've got a small problem with forward thrust. I do need a little more forward thrust, but the RCS thrusters are working just perfectly. Set ourselves in position. I'm going to turn this thing on, and to lock your drills in, hold your drills down and press the I button on your keyboard to activate your inventory, your personal inventory. Your ship will automatically grab hold, and we're just going to push this thing in here and go tearing through. And you can just see this thing is just ripping and tearing right now. It is just amazing what it can do. And you don't have any problems with it. It is just sucking things in. If you look over there, it's holding about 128,000 kilograms of minerals, or just straight stone. It's just pulled it right out. And the only reason it's hanging on is because it's pulling in more stone than it's getting material. Well, it's not getting anything else. It's just ripping into this. But I'm going to show y'all the ore mining ability of this. You can see here we're not getting stuck at all. And the only thing we probably can't do is turn. And even then, I bet if I were to set it to, you know, remove, we could probably remove. Actually, let's do that. While we're doing this, turn that on. Hit the left mouse, hit the right mouse button. I'm just going to start removing rock in an opening. You guys can get a good idea of what this thing can do. You see, we already got some light appearing now, as we are just tearing through. It's just ripping things apart right in front of it. It doesn't care. It's saying screw these voxels. And we're through. And let's see here what we got. You can see what all we just ripped apart right there. Real quick. And you can also see the ejectors just hurling stone, just crapping it out like it's nothing. And there's enough stone ejection gear to more than adequately keep up. It's only using about 2 layers, which is fine. Because the other ones, if it fills up to a certain point, it'll just start pooping. Look at it, just poop out all that stone like it's nothing. You see the amount of damage it just tore through there? As if it were nothing. Then you have this burrow on the other side, which is just big enough I can just fly right on through it. It's just the perfect size. And this thing can easily go out, grab about 15,000 liters of material, and just bring it back. Have it right back to base when you're ready. It's got a decent speed. And with the ion thrusters, it really moves. Here we got some stuff flying forward now. But like I said, I've got to put a skin on this thing, because if I don't put a skin on it, you hit that hydrogen tank too hard, and I've done that before. I've tapped the hydrogen tank on something like right down the back of it, and it just just blows up. Like it just doesn't care at that point. It's like, yep, nope, we're checking out. So that makes a good entry point to it. And there's a certain way I want to hook this up to a mothership and make it look amazing afterward. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really do. Be sure to leave me a like, a comment in the box. And as always, folks, I am Badger Wild with the new Graboid miner, and hopefully the next video I will have me skinning this thing. I am very sorry again because of me not having the video ready like I needed to be. But I'll have this set up, and you guys will get to see me skin this thing and add a few new features to it and set it up to where it works pretty good. And then we move on to the big mamma jamma, the mothership. And I want a mothership that can hold at least 4 of these and still be able to give us a lot of really good stuff. Anyway, folks, if you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all for watching. This is Badger Wild. Off.